Welcome back, watch fans. Today we are talking about Patek Philippe and the Rolex market that's crashing. That's right, Rolex dropping faster than Juan Kino's pants in that Bronx bathhouse. That's right, in the boogie down Bronx. Unbelievable but true. And we're also going to be talking about Francis Ford Coppola. That's right, Coppola. Unbelievable. By the way, we got to match the surroundings. So today on the wrist, we got the Patek Philippe. Not the sex tourist watch. This is the travel time. I forgot the reference number. You don't need to know the reference numbers are for bouquiacs. That's right. You don't need to know these reference numbers. But anywho, speaking of travel time, Francis Ford Coppola, the famous director, the guy who made. Check this out. We got a match with the green. Francis Ford Coppola is supposedly is broke. That's right. It's hard out there. It's hard out there for a pimp. You got Francis Ford Coppola. I think he's down about 100 mil in the last couple of years, and he's selling off his watches, including a Patek Philippe World Time, aka the Sex Tourist, as well as a Calatrava. Yeah, basic Calatrava. I wonder if it's the hobnail. We'll see. It's coming up at Philips, and an FP Journe. That's right. He's selling the FP Journe, the Francis Ford Coppola FP Journe, which does that hand thing. The thing with the hand. It tells you the time. The watch is one of the ugliest watches you'll ever see in your life, and the way it works, gentlemen, is it tells you the time by giving you the fingers like this. It gives you these finger signs, and apparently that's how you tell the time. I don't understand it, but this watch is very, very desirable. I think they made just a handful of these. It's a very, this watch may sell. Now here's what I'm thinking. I think this watch is going to sell for into the millions for sure, because here's why. Well, we know that FP Journe collectors, that's a whole niche. The Journe collector is a very, very specific, sophisticated audience, clientele, and it's really a cult. Journe is basically a cult, and these guys, it's kind of like Richard Mille is a cult. Richard Mille is a cult. Journe is a cult, and they attract their own weird people. For example, Rolex is not a cult. Rolex is more of mainstream. It's kind of like Catholicism. It's universal. Everybody likes Rolex, right? Whereas FP Journe, it's kind of like David Koresh. Anybody remember David Koresh, the Branch Davidian guys? Yeah. And there was that. There's also the other guy who was really good. The guy from San Francisco. What's his name? Jonestown. The Jonestown guy. Which I think there's going to be a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio coming out based on Jonestown. Really interesting. Just FYI, Jonestown. That guy was very tied in with Nancy Pelosi, all the San Francisco liberals in the 70s. That's right, unbelievable but true. And he was a white guy, but his main audience, his parishioners, whatever they call it, of the church, were mostly black, which is interesting. He was, it's kind of unusual, right? A white preacher with a mostly black audience. Very unusual. I think he started off in Oakland, California, and then they ended up in Guyana. Gina. Anyway, so what's going on with the Journe Rolex? What are we doing? Again, look, as you guys know, we're here to give you second-rate content for a third-rate audience. So we got to give you this valuable filler content. And what's going on is Francis Ford Coppola, or Coppola, as the riffraff calls him. And he's basically, he spent $100 million making the movie called Megalopolis or Bukiakistan, Chomostan. What it might as well have been one of those, right? I think Bukiakistan or Chomostan might have been a better movie than Megalopolis, right? Okay. Anyway, he made this movie which nobody has ever seen, and he's down like $100 million that he spent on it. Now, here's the thing: you gotta give the guy credit. I actually respect Francis Ford Coppola. I'm going to call him Coppola so you know who I'm talking about. But Francis Ford Coppola, I mean, he's made some great movies. Of course, Apocalypse Now has got to be. I mean, Apocalypse Now. Wow, what a movie, Apocalypse Now. Which, of course, also featured Marlon Brando with his Rolex GMT. That's right. Now, the real Colonel, though, would be wearing a Patek Philippe travel time instead of a GMT. The GMT is really for plebeians. So Colonel Kurtz was not as high ranking as the Colonel. You know, the Colonel is a much more higher ranking Colonel, which is why we have the Patek Philippe on the wrist. We'll give you we'll give you a quick fit check. That's right, we got to give you the fit check. Look at this, gentlemen. Look at this. We got the full golf dad outfit with Adidas shirt, and what do we got here? We got the Adidas shirt and the Adidas golf pants, circa 2017. Still going strong. That's right, unbelievable but true. This is unbelievable. This is all. Actually, you know, I've never been a polyester guy, but you know, what I've learned, you know, in my advanced age is apparently this type of stuff, you know, when you wear in very hot weather, it basically dries up. You don't have to be like, if you're playing golf, it's 110 degrees outside. You can't wear cotton, obviously, because it's going to be very heavy and it's going to get soaked. Whereas this will dry up. So this is a quick tip for. I'm giving advice here. Sorry, we got. Look, this channel. Not only do we give you horological advice, we also give you fashion advice, so that you can. You know, this is the classic look for a. This lady following me? It's very strange. This is the classic look for the middle-aged, kind of like a middle-aged golf dad, is what we call it, right? I think there's a type. Middle-aged golf dad. The middle-aged golf dad look. Retiree look or something. You know these bukiaks. Of course, we're not wearing Skechers, though. We're not wearing Skechers. We're wearing something else. We're not wearing Skechers. Okay, so let's get back to the topic at hand. So Francis Ford Coppola, I mean, listen, the guy's a real artist, and it's no wonder that him and Journe are really apparently very friendly. So Francis Ford Coppola, I mean, Journe made that watch in collaboration with Coppola. That watch that does the hand thing. You know what I'm saying? The hand thing. So that is. Very interesting watch. I think that, okay, so I'll tell you what's going to make that watch special. I mean, in case you haven't figured it out. Number one is you got the cult of Journe, and then you got Francis Ford Coppola, which is he's not a big celebrity in the watch world, but when it comes to Journe, it's kind of like the Paul Newman. It's like the Newman Daytona. I mean, literally, that is like the Paul Newman Daytona of the FP Journe world, because I'm telling you, FP Journe. I don't know the guy. I don't know any of those guys. But I'm pretty certain that Journe loves Coppola. Why? Because, well, you know, he's of that age when people still looked up to like Hollywood celebrities, right? So for Journe, who's basically, I mean, when you think about it, like FP Journe was basically a guy who's probably having sex with his sisters in the mountains in the Alps, in the Swiss Alps or whatever, in the winter. You know, it gets cold in the winter, and a lot of these Swiss, it's very similar to what happens in La Isla del Cucaracha y Basura. There's a lot of incest going on there. So FP Journe probably was involved with some incest. Now, we're not saying anything, but we don't know anything. I'm not saying, but it could be. I wouldn't be surprised, with the Swiss, with the gnomes and everything. But he definitely looks up to Journe, and they're both real artists. Both of these guys are like real artists. In terms of when I say artists, in terms of look, they both have like a singular vision. Okay, we're using these poetic terms, a singular vision. They really do. They both have a defined thing. They're both very uncompromising, and as Francis Ford Sinatra said, they did it my way, right? They're both very, very uncompromising about their vision, so when those two, you got that collaboration, Journe, Coppola. It's serious. So that watch is going to do very, very well. I would say north of 2 million. I don't know. What do you guys think? 2 million plus? Okay. And again, he's selling some other watches. And again, why is he selling? Because he claims that he lost all his money, or he's basically broke, because he lost 100 million. That's his own money. So both Journe and Coppola, they're actually very similar. In other words, like, they're both like, they love wine and food, and Coppola basically was the first guy really to have his own winery. When I say the first guy, I mean like the first, like, non-wine guy. He's like a Hollywood guy, right? And he created the first successful winery, the Coppola Wines, which became a brand, and that probably influenced all these other chomos like George Clooney and all these other degenerates with their stupid branded tequila and whatever else they're doing. But also a lot of the Silicon Valley guys, the bros, because like after Coppola did it, like everybody else wanted to become a wine guy. But I think Coppola is a real wine. He really is that guy. He's an authentic guy. He's not like a fugazi. Again, great director, made great movies. And here's how you know the guy's legit. He puts up his own money. St. Francis, see, there we go. St. Francis. He puts up his own money. So that's why he's kind of broke, he claims. Because for a lot of these movies, he would have to put up, and his budgets were crazy. Like, he would basically blow budgets like by, many, many millions. Back when millions was a lot of money. Like, he wanted like perfection. For example, in Apocalypse Now, there's a deleted scene which didn't make it into the movie, which you can see on YouTube. Apparently, when they go up the river and they meet this French family, they have like a plantation there in Vietnam where they grow rubber or whatever. But I don't think that scene made it into the movie, but it's on YouTube. I saw it. It's an amazing scene. But apparently the idea is it's these French people that have been in Vietnam for, a couple of generations with this plantation. And, they're kind of really not paying attention to anything that's going on in the world. They have their thing. They're growing, palm oil, rubber. Who knows what they grow in Vietnam. They're sitting there having dinner, and they're all like very elegantly dressed, like, wearing Adidas. They're all elegantly dressed for dinner, right? And again, this is in middle of the jungle of Vietnam, like literally middle of somewhere, nowhere in Vietnam. This is somebody's bedding. And it's an amazing scene. But the point of this is that Coppola was so specific that he wanted it to look very authentic, like this was like a real French family. He had the set designer go, and I think they spent like a fortune, like literally some crazy amount of money, because they had to buy it. They had to buy the furniture, but it was down very to all the details, like in terms of details, in terms of the.
I got all sorts of discounts going on.
All right.
You hear this through today?
Thanks, good luck. Yeah, no.
All right, there we go. We got discounts. Is the discount there? Okay, that's right. I guess I look like a tourist today with this dad vibes. So anyway, they spent a fortune buying this stuff, not a fortune, but let's say they spent a couple hundred grand, maybe 300 grand in today's money, but then to ship it up the jungle to the Philippines, where they're actually, to the set, probably cost them it was in the millions of dollars basically, and which was like and then they never used the scene. That's right, they never used the scene because I don't know. He decided, hey, you know what? It doesn't work. Can you imagine that? That's a real artist. So he's very uncompromising, as is FP Journe. And, they both love to eat. They love to eat and drink. So these guys probably have the bromance. So that watch is going to go very strong. Now, the question is, what about you punters? The punters and the pikers, what should you do? Should you be buying Francis Ford Coppola's hand-me-downs? Should you be buying his by the way, he doesn't have any any Rolex. He's selling 5 watches, including the Sex Tourist, Patek Sex Tourist, Patek Calatrava, like a basic one, and what else? A couple things. I just saw the article today. I'm sorry, I meant one of our informed sources contacted us. That's right, we have an inside source that contacted us and let us know these details. The sale is in December. Okay, so they're gonna hype it up like crazy, and all these Chomo channels, all the Chomo channels, the Hodinkis, the Hochomos, all these Bukyaks, so they're going to be they're going to be breathlessly writing about this, oh my God, this is iconic. That's the word that these guys love to use. It's iconic, right? That's the one word every catalog, every watch, right? All these guys went to the same school of watch cataloging, writing, whatever, the watch horological journalism. Everything is iconic. Everything is iconic and all sorts of superlatives and hyperbole of blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, it's just a basic watch. But these guys are going to hype up these watches like it's going to be crazy. So the stuff might, let's see what happens. But apparently, yeah, so it's hard out there for Francis Ford Coppola. The super chats aren't coming in. And he's too old. He's too old to go, gay for pay. Watch Nicholas. He doesn't have any cougars. He doesn't have any cougars or groomers who are going to send him money. So this is what he's got to do. He's got to sell off watches, just like Archie Luxury. Unbelievable. But you don't see him doing videos trying to, repeating the same thing 100 times, right? The same warmed over content. Yeah. So okay, what else do we have in today's episode? What else are we going to cover? Yeah, this is good. So we got this out today because the weather is cooling down, so we could wear leather again. That's right. We could wear leather. Now we know that Uncle Curly, leather daddy, Uncle Curly, he wears leather year round. When he goes to the Man Country bathhouse. Oh, by the way, guys, while I'm on the subject, because this channel hasn't gotten any donations, we have not been able to do the high quality productions. Again, it costs millions of dollars to make these videos, and sure enough, a few months ago, last month, I was in New York, and I'm walking down. They've really done an amazing job with that Hudson River Park. Really, it's all really the Bloomberg really is the guy that made it all happen. Again, you got to give credit to Rudy Giuliani for, really cleaning up the city, but Bloomberg really, he put the final touch. So yeah, the park is amazing, and actually, for the first time, I went to that little island. I think that's what they call it, Little Island. Now, I haven't. So Little Island, which was built by Barry Diller. And who, ironically, I actually literally saw him riding his bicycle, in Battery Park City. like that same day. Like it's very, very strange. I mean, the guy's just by himself riding a bike. Old guy. The guy's in his 80s, right? You know, he's wearing he's wearing a cap, but you know, it was him. It was definitely Barry. There were no twinks involved, just Barry by himself. So here's the point. Because we haven't been able to get any of the donations that we need to keep the channel alive, I missed. The battery in my phone ran out because I was crossing over from after my paramble. Is that what do you call it? When you do a walkabout in the park. I was going back, crossing the highway, and towards the meat packing district. That's right, the meat packing district. Unbelievable but true. And the meat packing district is they've cleaned it up tremendously. It's like the most expensive area now. It used to be mostly tranny hookers and meat. They would sell meat there. Meat wholesalers, and then they had apparently transsexual prostitutes. That was their specialized area. For whatever reason, I don't know why, but maybe the guys in the meat business liked it. I have no idea, but apparently it was very well known for transsexual prostitutes back in the day. I mean, I remember it as such, because I remember, being in that area, like in the morning, like, not early, but like 10 o'clock. I think they were active at night and into the wee hours, but like I would pass through there maybe at 10 o'clock. I'd walk through there 10 o'clock in the morning or whatever, and you'd see a few stragglers. This was many years back when I was a wee lad, and one of my first jobs, was printing, selling printing, and there were printers. Well, further south on Varick Street, that's where the printers were, and it would smell like ink. I love that smell, the smell of ink in the morning. Unbelievable. Now it's all offices or whatever, very expensive. But so where am I going with this? Where are we going with this? We are going with the fact that I'm crossing the street and I hear noise. I hear like disco noise. I hear disco noise coming. It's very loud. And I'm wondering, what is going on here? Why is there's this noise? Like, is this some sort of party? Like, let me see what's going on. Well, I mean, I wasn't really want to see, but I mean, actually, that's the street I wanted to cross through, but I couldn't because it was blocked off because of this party. So I had to go around, and anyway, to avoid the thing. So as I'm passing by there, I noticed, what kind of party is it? It's a bear party. That's right, a bear. You know what, you guys? You know what a bear is? You Google it. That's right, you Google it. Bears. So it was a bunch of guys, a bunch of gentlemen, a lot of gentlemen's heavyweight type guys, overweight, guys wearing like leather and harnesses and all sorts of leather accoutrements, and that whole, the caps, the whole look, which unfortunately my battery was out on the phone. So I wasn't able to make a documentary video because, we didn't get any donations that month. That's where you guys got to send those donations so we can bring you that type of content. We can give you bear content. And there was also a Mexican parade going on that day. The Mexican, I don't know if they call it Mexican Pride or Mexican Independence Day. I don't know what it was, but it was in September, some sort of thing with Mexicans. And, again, my battery was out. Otherwise, I would have been there to see if, we can get any footage of the ICE baby deporting illegals. Now, I do have to say, as a side note, I actually, the Mexicans, I do believe have a certain a right to be in the U.S. because the land was actually stolen from them. That's right, unbelievable true. But this area where I'm walking now, Alto Mexico, we're talking about California, Texas, Nevada, Arizona, and what else? A bunch of area was stolen from Mexico by the Americans. That's right. You Google it. That's right. You Google it. Now the others, the Venezuelans, Salvadorians, whatever, they can go fuck themselves. No, but the Mexicans actually provide a lot of value to America. They're the only ones who do any work here, and it basically it was their land, like legitimately their land that the U.S. stole from them under some pretense of blah blah blah, whatever. Basically, the U.S. started a war as a pretense to what do you call it? To get what do they call manifest destiny, because they were worried that France or Russia or the UK or whoever was gonna grab that land first, because Mexico was very unstable. So they were basically a third world country at that time, or whatever it was. It wasn't really a country. It was whatever territory of Spain. Who knows what it was? But they didn't want the Ruskies to grab that western the west side. And that's right. So the city of Compton. That's right. The city of Compton. You know what I'm talking about. The city of Compton could have been Russian. That's right. You wouldn't have that guy. Who is the guy who does that song? In the city of Compton. I don't know. I've heard that. I never heard that song when it came out, but I've been hearing it like in the last few years everywhere. Like, I guess it's as the kids say, old school. Good song. I think it's a great song. I mean, I did appreciate that. Listen, my musical taste, actually, I do have to admit, my musical taste is very, very basic. So, my musical taste pretty much, like I think like most people, it stops when you're about 17, 18, and you don't really pay attention to like whatever. But yeah, so anywho, gentlemen, that's what's going on in the world of Patek Philippe. Now, what about the Patek travel time? Is this the time to buy? Yeah, actually. Now, we don't give horological investment advice on this channel. I mean, well, actually, we do talk about watches that will increase in value, and we've been amazing track record. But I do have to say, this watch, you can probably pick these up now for about 20 grand, full set. Don't pay a penny more. That's right. Not a penny more than 20 grand. Maybe 22, whatever. But you can get these for about 20 grand now. And are they going up in price? I don't know. My thesis was that it would go up in value. But this was 4 years ago. When did I get this? I got this 4 or 5 years ago, and I've been wrong. I got this 4 years ago, and I've been dead wrong. It's basically been dead money. Now, what's great about it is it's a very modern Patek, but still of the Philippe Journe era. So this is one of his last hits. I think these are going to come. I think these are going to increase in value bigly at one point, because they're really kind of the dog of the range right now. Nobody likes these. Nobody likes these except the real aristocrats. But yeah. So basically, this is one of these. Again, a lot of times with these watches, they do nothing for years, and then they explode. All the money is made like in 1 year. Just like we saw with the Ellipse. It was dead for decades, and then in the last 2 years, it basically tripled. That's right. It tripled. You would have tripled your money had you been an aristocrat, and you would have been, following our channel. So anyway, let me know what you think. Leave your nasty and vicious comments below.